Hey everybody, today's video is all about coffee, chin hairs, and a bear who is mildly offended. But I'll explain that in a little bit. First of all, you can see I'm just kind of painting in some parentheses in the colors of my choice. It's a mixture of alizarin crimson and permanent rose. And I'm just going to color this in. This is going to be the bear's shirt, and we're going to go from there. I've been kind of feeling a little low on creativity lately, and so instead of pressuring myself to come up with something totally new, I decided to remake an old favorite of mine, which is this bear that I originally created in Procreate back in 2023 before I ever had a YouTube channel that I posted to. So here's a look at the bear that I did back then. And I'm not going to show you the words because I just want to surprise you at the end. I think if you are a woman of my age, you might be able to relate. Okay, let that completely dry. And we're going to come in with a couple more parentheses. This time I'm using burnt umber and just filling this in as the shape of the bear's head. Simple, simple. We're going to be doing this one in watercolor line and wash, but as you can see, I actually just went straight in with paint, no sketch, no pressure, just loose and very simple shapes to start with here. And we're going to go ahead and add our ears, same color as the face for now. And you can make this as loose or as neat as you would like to. And we're going to add a cup of coffee, and it's just going to be real simple today to try to get my creativity sparked, and maybe yours as well. And keep in mind, you can absolutely try this with any animal. Just start with the two shapes, the head and the shirt, and just go from there. All right, we're going to come in now that everything is completely dry. I've got a micron size 5, and I'm just going to draw in our basic details. Starting with this shape that's going to be the snout, and then the nose, which you can make a square, a circle, a triangle, whatever you would like to do. And I'm just coloring that in with pen. You can obviously use black paint or whatever colors you would like to use. Just trying to keep it simple. And I'm trying to kind of do a crooked, halfway disapproving expression on her face. And while I've got my black pen here, I'm just going to do a very loose outline of everything. And this bear has a bit of a backstory, but I'll save the words I added to the final piece for a little bit later here. Let's just say she is reflecting on her friendships over coffee, and she's a tiny bit bothered. And you'll see what I mean here in a couple minutes. I'm just doing basic outline of the bear, and now I'm coming in with my white gel pen and going to put in her first layer of the whites of her eyes. And then we'll let that dry and come in with our second layer. You could do a Posca pen, you could do white gouache, white acrylic, bleed-proof white, whatever you have that might be a little more opaque, but I'm just using what I have out here, and it'll be just fine. And now for her arms, very basic shapes again. And you could pencil this all in ahead of time if you wanted to be more precise, but I'm just trying to keep it extra simple for my kind of lack of creative motivation lately, and hoping it will spark something in me to kind of keep going. And a very basic and giant coffee that we're giving her for this rough day that she had. Then coming in with the second layer of the whites of her eyes. If you try to do it while the first layer is still wet, it's just going to move it around rather than fill it in. So, all right, and now for her paws, I'm coming in with the same burnt umber with just a little less water in it, so it looks darker. And I'm just letting the tips of her paws peek out because I'm pretending it's a nice chilly day and she's got long sleeves and is feeling extra cozy today, albeit bothered because, well, you'll know here in a little bit why she's bothered. And just doing the inside of her ears, just have fun with it. Oh, this is where I kind of started trying to put some texture like in her fur, but you'll see that I changed that because it kind of looks like I've got just a bunch of hairs on her face, which I know it's a bear. My thought processes aren't always logical. But anyway, I didn't like how this looked, so I just decided to paint over all of it, and you'll still see like the little hints of these bits of texture that I'm putting in, but just a little less contrast. I hope this motivates somebody out there if you're kind of feeling like I am, because motivation just dips sometimes. And if you just go back to a piece that you may have loved or at least laughed at, it can just be a good jump start. So you don't have to paint something revolutionary. You just have to paint, and that'll kind of get you back into the groove, hopefully. And in this case, to try to get me back in the groove, I'm painting a mildly offended bear who's emotionally regrouping with caffeine. Okay, so the whites of the eyes are dry, so we'll go ahead and add the eyeballs now, giving her a little side eye expression in her little bothered way that she is today. Keeping it very simple. I'll zoom in here so you can kind of see what I'm doing. I did outline the whites of the eyes as well and just kind of reshaping that one. And I decided she needs some eyelashes for just a little touch of whimsy and fanciness. And now just going to fill in our coffee cup. I've decided red because that just makes me think of Christmas is near and winter is near because, you know, the red coffee cups at Christmas time. And I am actually going to let that completely dry before I come in and color in my lid. I'm just doing it with my pen, as you can see. You can do paint, you can do whatever you'd like. And while I've got my pen still out here, I'm going to just kind of rough up our outline and other parts of our bear. Just to me, this adds charm and whimsy. Obviously, it's optional if you don't care for that sort of mess, because I know some people think it looks like a bit of a mess, but I love it. So I'm going with it. Same thing up on the head. You can see I'm just making some extra lines up here, fluffing up her fur a little bit. I love it. I just think it adds so much. And while I'm just kind of tweaking the lines here, I just want to remind you, I think I said it anyway, you can try this with any animal. You can just make your own version, like think of an owl or a judgy cat or a sleepy sloth, same idea. You just do the basic shapes, head and a shirt, and done. And you can add a little coffee for coziness and all these scribbly lines. You can see I'm coming in with my white gel pen now just to add some highlights here and there on the head, on the coffee cup, on the shirt, and just tweaking it until I am happy with what I see. And then we're going to be ready to add our words to it, and I'll just read it to you as I go. I'm speeding it up. I obviously don't write this quickly, but she thought she had genuine friendships until she looked in the rearview mirror on her way home from coffee club and saw the 1.5-inch chin hair about which no one informed her. And then add a little dramatic exclamation at the end. And maybe for an extra touch, we will emphasize the word thought. She thought she had genuine friendships. Okay, a little dramatic, but I think it's fun, and I hope you do too. And if you paint your own, I hope you'll share what you've painted, or at least what story is behind yours, and the sillier, the better, I say. And if this isn't a greeting card waiting to happen, I don't know what is. In fact, I think I will. I hope you're doing well, and I hope that you create just for fun today. See you in the next video.